One of the big changes is the addition of full support for the HLS protocol inside of the Flash player as part of the Primetime offering. Now, as simple as that sounds, actually that's a pretty huge commitment and a huge change to the workflows. So one of the big problems with broadcasters everywhere is reaching all those different kinds of screens. Problem with that is they all have different protocols. So being able to standardize on a protocol which is probably the widest supported is going to make a lot of workflow efficiencies. So you've got HLS obviously on iOS devices. You've got the new versions of Android handsets and tablets coming out with native hardware support for HLS. And now being able to use exactly the same streams on the desktop using your Flash technology is potentially a huge saving in time and resources and effort, and makes the whole TV everywhere kind of approach a lot more graspable for broadcasters here. It's interesting. The broadcasters and the TV people, coming together now with the more traditional web TV people and people involved with IP, is really changing a lot of the ways that people start to think about it. What I've noticed here, in particular, is that it's that change in the mindset. It's the changing from here's something which I'm going to give someone, and they're going to sit in front of a box and they're going to watch it. Now, of course, TV can be anything. It's not just that big box in the living room. It's your phone. It's your tablet. A TV is any screen that you happen to be watching that content on at that point in time. So obviously there are challenges with that. There's the delivery challenge. How do you get it to all those screens? There's the DRM challenge. How do you make sure it's secure if it's someone else's content? But then the big challenge is how do I make a business out of that? And this is where the monetization comes in. So being able to advertise against that content is obviously something that most people really want to achieve. They have great content, but actually the ability to make money out of that depends very much on how effectively you can monetize that. TV, of course, has this approach that it goes into the stream and you get what you're given depending upon the time of day. IP changes that. So now IP gives you that backfeed channel, so we can now start to be much more relevant, much more customized, much more targeted with those ads. And that's going to make a big difference. About a year and a half ago, Adobe bought a company called Auditude, which gave us some ad decisioning technologies. So combine that now with Adobe's ability to deliver content through the Adobe Media Server. We have the omniscient set of technologies with all the analytics. Now we've got that ad decisioning technology. And that really, those three elements are crucial to a successful online video business. So that gives us the ability not just to make an ad decision, but to place that ad exactly where we want it in the video stream. And more importantly, perhaps, to completely understand the consumption of it. So this is where the analytics comes in. We can understand exactly what was watched, how much of it was watched, what device it was, and then use that information to make better ad decisions. So again, changing that nature that an ad is no longer something that just pops up in front of your eyeballs. It's going to be based off your interactions, your content that you're watching, your device that you're watching on, which should make it much more relevant and therefore make the business actually succeed. These are IP devices now. Increasingly, it's not just the linear TV, it's about the IP-connected world. There we understand what's going on. What are you doing? What are you watching? What have you just watched? Where are you? What's your geolocation? Use that information intelligently to start personalizing not just the adverts, but the recommendations for the next piece of content that you should watch. Start to make it a proper system that reinforces itself with real statistics.